what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Let's talk about supplements, right? I get a lot of questions about supplements. What's the best protein powder I should get? What's the best pre-workout creatine supplement, right? People want all these different type of fancy supplements, right? Cool. Now, before you get into going into GNC or Vitamin Shop or Vitamin World and seeing all the fancy labels of products named things like Rage and Fury and Blast and Hyper, this and that, and there's all of this fancy Extreme X3, XX, X0, 0Z, right? They make the stuff look really good, and you want to go and buy all this stuff because you think it's going to make you look like the people on the fronts, right? Like, and they're all ripped and shredded, and they got the green fiery eyes and all this type of crazy stuff, right? These promos look crazy, right? So before we get into all of that, let's keep it real. Let's bring it back down to earth. Let's be reasonable people. Let's not get drawn into the zealously marketed powders and pills and liquids and gels and all of this crazy stuff. Let's take it to the diet first. Before you even look at supplements, first you got to optimize your diet. You got to dial in your diet. First things first. So the bulk, about 99% at least, 98% at least of all your nutrients should come from your diet. Ideally 100%. But we got busy schedules and busy lives, and sometimes we can't just get it all in the way we want, right? So we got to get supplements. Cool, fine, I completely understand that. But before that, let's look at the diet. First, got to target the 5 categories of food. I made a video about this, right? The 5 categories of food: fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, grains and legumes. That covers your protein requirements, your carbs, and your healthy fats. And when we say healthy fats, people say good healthy fats. Good healthy fats are going to be omega-3s, right? Of course you need the omega-3, 6, and 9, but ideally you want a proportionate level of omega-3, 6, and 9. You don't want a dominant level of omega-6 and 9 and a smaller ratio of omega-3, because that leads to things like inflammation that wreak havoc on your body. That leads to pro-oxidation of the cells and aging and heart disease, and the list goes on, okay? So omega-3s is what you want to target in your fat sources. Now for foods, understand that omega-3s, people say, oh, well, I can get a fish oil supplement. Yeah, you can, but a better source for omega-3s is always going to come from plant-based sources, right? So you're going to be getting that from your dark leafy greens like your kale and your spinach and things of that nature. And then you're going to be getting it from nuts and seeds, mainly your seeds like chia seeds, flax seeds, and hemp seeds. That's where you're going to be getting the bulk of your omega-3s from. If you want to supplement omega-3s, you can also get things like spirulina, right? Things like that. The blue-green algae supplement, where you can get that in like a powder form and things like that. But that's supplements. We're talking about food right now, so the food would be the seeds and the green leafy vegetables. That's where you're going to get your omega-3s from. And that is a part of those 5 categories of food. So, then we talk about protein. People ask me about protein, the whey isolate, the lean isometrical whey, casein and fusion egg protein, all this type of stuff. You got all types of egg, rice, and protein, soy, pea, all these different types of protein shakes. Before even diving into all of that, just understand how much protein you actually need. Most people think that they need like a gram of protein per pound of body weight, per pound of body weight, which is ridiculous, right? Because if you're somebody who's trying to lose weight or whatever, and you're trying to build muscle, but you're like 200 pounds and 30% body fat, what is the point of ingesting 200 grams of protein? It's crazy, right? And it's going to be extremely, hard to do that on something like a whole food plant-based diet, right? Which is the most species appropriate diet, right? And that's what I based the 5 categories of food on. So we need something more reasonable here. Now let's get back to the science. The science says that you want to target 1 gram to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of lean mass. Okay, I hacked that up a little bit just now, so I'm going to repeat it. Your daily protein requirement, according to the science, should be in between 1 gram to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of lean mass. All right, so the reason for this, okay, this is going to be a lot more reasonable, because when you actually do the math with that, it looks real reasonable. You go, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense than like 200 grams of protein, right? Here's the deal with that. Let's say you have two people. Both of them are 160 pounds, but one is 6% body fat at 160 pounds, and one is 20% body fat at 160 pounds, okay? Obviously, they're not going to both have the same protein requirement because one has way more muscle on them than the other. And the reason for protein is to maintain and build lean muscle mass, right? So you don't want to calculate your fat mass into your protein requirement, because you don't need protein to build fat. You're not trying to build fat, right? So what you would do is you would get your weight in kilograms, okay? Then you would get your body fat percentage, and then you would subtract your body fat percentage from your overall weight. This will give you your lean mass. And then you would get 1 gram to 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram of lean mass. That's how that would work there, okay? So do that calculation. You can even pause this video and figure that out, okay? So moving on. You targeted the 5 categories. You logged all your food and everything like that. Now let's talk about logging food, right? Tracking food, okay? Because before you can talk about supplements, you got to figure out, okay, what is my diet giving me right now? Because how do you know what supplements to get if you don't know what you're missing? So in order to really figure out what you're missing, you need to track your food. So I got 2 resources that you can use to track your food. You can use either or. You can either use Chronometer or you can use MyFitnessPal, okay? So Chronometer is a paid version. The thing about Chronometer is it has a larger database and it gives you way more details as far as the macronutrients of your food. And then there's MyFitnessPal that has a free version, right? So you can get one or the other depending on your dedication level. Now those who are truly dedicated, you're probably going to go for the Chronometer, right? It's about $4 to $5 or something like that to get the paid version. And that'll give you how much zinc and magnesium and calcium and vitamin A and C and D and K and all of that type of stuff. It gives you this laundry list of all your stuff. Omega-3, it tells you everything. It's fantastic, right? So you can go with that, or you can go with MyFitnessPal. That's fine too, to get your overall macros. It's more of a simpler version. So you can use either or, that's cool. Now in Chronometer, you can use it on a laptop, desktop, and there's a mobile app. So it's probably a little bit more versatile also, okay? So once you've meal prepped, you've picked your foods according to the 5 categories, okay? And you put your meals together and you track them. Okay, you did your calculations, cool. If I have, the 2 bananas with the grapefruit and the half cup of cashews, that gives me this, great. If I do the half cup of quinoa with the chia seeds and the 3 to 4 cups of chopped spinach and kale, that'll give me this. All right, cool. If I get the pound of sweet potatoes mixed with hemp seeds and chopped asparagus and whatever, onions, whatever, that gives me that, right? And you can just base all your meals like that, right? Get organized, right? Really start organizing your diet, right? So you know exactly what you're getting. Just don't be randomly just eating just whatever you see, because that's how people get fat, that's how they get out of shape, that's how they miss their fitness goals, okay? So get organized, track your meals, figure out what you're getting out of all of your foods. Once you do that and you've tracked all your meals, you've structured your diet, you've optimized your diet according to your lifestyle and your goals, then you can figure out what you're missing, right? And these apps will tell you what you're missing. So let's say you're missing zinc. then you can take a look at a zinc supplement. If you're missing calcium or you're missing magnesium, maybe you're a few grams short of protein, then you can start looking at supplements. Okay. Now, as far as macronutrients, the only real macronutrient you would need to supplement is protein. Okay, that's the most practical one. It's really easy to get carbs. It's really easy to get fat. Protein, on the other hand, maybe you're not reaching your protein goal, which is really easy to get protein also. But if you're falling short on your protein, that's cool. You can do something like get pea protein, which is what I like to go for, right? Unflavored, straight up pea protein, right? There's a company called Now Protein. It's not called Now Protein, but it's called Now Nutrition or something like that. It's Now, right? Pea protein. You can just type in pea protein. It'll be in an orange bottle, right? And it's unflavored. That's my go-to. And the reason for that is because the unflavored version is versatile. You can put it in your oatmeal. You can put it in your shakes. You can mix it with cashew milk, chocolate cashew milk, whatever type of milks you want, right? And ideally, I advocate for plant-based milks. I am completely against dairy. Dairy is disgusting. It will wreck your digestive tract. It will leach calcium from your bones because of the acid levels. It's okay. I'm anti-dairy. Right? Of course, I gotta say I solely advocate for a whole food plant-based diet, a vegan diet, but look, the science shows dairy is terrible. Acne, obesity, all of that type of stuff directly linked to things like dairy. Moving on. So this pea protein is very versatile. Okay, so if you're gonna go for a protein supplement, one scoop is like 24 grams of protein. Okay, so if your protein goal is like 100 grams of protein, that one scoop is nearly a quarter of your protein requirement. It practically is a quarter of your protein requirement, right? So if you do that twice a day, that's half your protein requirement right there. Okay, so that takes care of your protein. You don't need to supplement carbs. There's carb supplements, but really. Just have a sweet potato. Like, if you're eating enough food and you're targeting those 5 categories and you're still missing carbs, you have to just not be eating at all, right? You don't need a fat supplement. Honestly, ideally, the sweet spot for your fat intake is, in between, let's say, 10 and 20%. Typically, I'll get in between 10 and 15%, but if I feel like having some extra avocado or some extra peanut butter, it'll be in between 10 and 20% fat. That's really easy to hit, okay? And the only fats you would supplement are fat sources that give you omega-3s, okay? And omega-3 you can get from chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, and you can get that from something like spirulina, which is a blue-green algae supplement, okay? And that would take care of that. So if anything now, so far you got a protein supplement and you have a plant-based omega-3 supplement like spirulina, and you're good to go with that. Now, moving on to micronutrients, we got vitamins and minerals that make up micronutrients. So if you're going to supplement one of these, typically for most people you'd want to supplement something like B12, because B12 is not naturally occurring in food, right? Even the animals in animal agriculture have to be supplemented with B12. Okay, so but ideally, like let's say for vegans, if you're vegan, you're on a plant-based diet, ideally you want to supplement B12. Now, B12 can come from things like nutritional yeast, which you can make all types of vegan cheeses and stuff like that. You can make all types of delicious soups and creams, and nutritional yeast is like vegan crack, right? This stuff is amazing. And it's definitely very nutrient dense. It's so versatile. You can add it to anything, and it makes it taste amazing. It literally has a cheesy taste, okay? So you can get your B12 from that. If you don't want to take a B12 pill or, drops, B12 drops, you can do that. Okay, and then there's mock meats and stuff that I believe they supplement B12 in as well as plant-based milks. Okay, so that would get you covered on that. So B12, very easy to get. Even if you wanted to get a B12 supplement, you can do a $10 little jar of B12 drops. It'll last you from anywhere from a month to like 3 months, right? Just put it right under the tongue, bam, you're done. right? So that takes care of that. So let's say if you're missing something like maybe you're missing a little zinc or magnesium or something like that, or manganese or any one of these minerals. You can supplement that either by itself or just get a multivitamin, right? So a multivitamin will cover that. It will cover all of your vitamins and minerals in just 1 to 2 pills, and that's it. Now, for my fellow vegans, if you're going to go the pill form, make sure that you're not getting gelatin, because gelatin is an animal product. Okay, gelatin comes from pigskin. Pretty gross stuff. So definitely make sure there's no gelatin in whatever capsules or pills or whatever you decide to consume. All right. So let's get into the interesting stuff, the sports performance stuff, right? Let's talk about creatine. Now, creatine is naturally occurring in the body. Your body makes its own creatine. Okay. But you can supplement it. You can get a creatine powder. It also comes in a capsule and a pill form, right? Creatine is often viewed as a mass-building supplement. But creatine doesn't build muscle mass. Creatine is a performance enhancement supplement, right? It feeds directly into the muscle, gives the muscle more burst, more torque, right? So it's basically an energy source, a quick energy source that propels your workout. So it increases your performance, right? And so it'll allow you to have more intense workouts in the gym. You'll be able to lift heavier weights. You'll be able to move faster, be more explosive, things like that, which leads to more stimulation of the muscle, which leads to greater gains in your muscle growth. Okay, so that's how creatine works there. So definitely you can get into creatine. I have nothing against creatine. Definitely try it out, go for it, see how it works for you. And then there is pre-workouts, right? Now, my favorite pre-workout so far that I have and that I'm currently using is C4. It's like $24 for like a 30-day supply, whatever the case is. It's like 20 in between, like 20 and $30, $24 and $30. So it's basically like $1 a day. Okay, which is not very, it's definitely more expensive than like drinking a Monster or a Red Bull, right, which is twice the price. So you can do that, you can get a supplement like that, or you can get caffeine pills, or you can get caffeine, you can get creatine powder or a creatine pill, and you can get something like citrulline, right? And you can mix those things together and have that as a pre-workout. So you can do that also. Okay, you can also mix B12. So you can make your own pre-workout out of caffeine, creatine, B12, and citrulline. Right? You could do that and bam, you got your own pre-workout if you want to have them all separately. I haven't priced that. I don't know how price efficient that is. I don't know how cost effective it is. But you can definitely look into that. I don't really have a desire to actually just take everything separately and putz around and make these little cocktails. Pre-workout is not even a thing that I necessarily take all the time. One of the perks of pre-workout, especially for vegans and plant-based athletes, is it comes with B12 in it. Most pre-workouts come. I don't know of any pre-workouts that don't come with B12. So there's an added bonus to taking pre-workout. Just make sure that when you take pre-workout, don't overdo it with the pre-workout, because then you can actually dim out your adrenal glands. Right, so you can even cause adrenal fatigue, pounding at the pre-workout. Okay, so have pre-workout maybe 4 or 5 times a week or something like that. Definitely do not do pre-workout and getting into the habit of taking pre-workout twice a day and all that type of stuff. Okay, because it will stop working and your adrenal glands will start to get lazy on you. So definitely chill out on that. So then what else is there to talk about? I think that pretty much covers it, in my opinion. I mean, I know there's tons of stuff. There's a supplement for everything. There's all types of stuff. I guess the other thing that I would address is fat-burning pills. Please do not do the fat-burning pills. Okay, don't do that. This stuff has caused people heart attacks and all of that type of stuff. It's just stimulants. It'll get you like this. It'll get your heart bop, 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 bop. And people think that just because this stuff gets your heart racing, that it means that it's going to get you to burn more fat, okay? Which is not the case. Plenty of people, they kill themselves doing tons of cardio, and their heart is racing during cardio, and they don't drop a single pound no matter how much cardio they do, no matter how much sweating they do. We've seen those people in the gym, right? They're all in the cardio area every day for an hour, 2 hours, just keep crushing it with the cardio. Running, Stairmaster, all that type of stuff. They're drenched in sweat and they never lose any weight. Okay, that's because cardio is not a weight loss solution. Okay, it's not the end all be all. There's way more to weight loss than just speeding up your heart rate. So don't fall for those type of gimmicks like that. Don't do that. Ultimately, the way you're going to get to your ideal body fat percentage is build muscle and have a nutrient-dense, balanced, whole food, plant-based diet. Okay, that's the best way to do it. It's not the only way, but it's definitely the best way, and that is the way that I stand by and that I advise for everybody who works with me personally. All right? So if I left anything out, let me know. Leave it in the comments, right? Reach out to me on social media, and I'll do other videos on other supplements, right? If I feel as though I need to address other supplements or whatever the case is, give me some ideas, let me know. And having said that, I'm done.